I'm in a hotel. Let's move on. Now, I will have some great fragrance recommendations to share with you, but first I gotta share some stuff with you. Hold on to your hats and strap in. Now, I'm gonna speak a little bit strongly for the next couple minutes, so some of you may be offended. I just hope that we can talk about it respectfully down in the comments. Now, I'm just gonna get it out of the way. I fundamentally do not support cologne fragrances, but I don't believe they're evil. I understand the appeal. I get it. I've shared this in past videos, but here's some of the most common reasoning that I see online. Why pay $200 for a supposedly great fragrance when I can get the same thing for $30? These brands who charge so much are just ripping us off, so I'm not gonna let them. And the very common underlying and often unspoken reason, they're out of my budget. I can't afford what I might want most, so I'll settle for what I want now. Now, don't hear what I'm not saying. I am in no way, shape, or form saying that you need to spend beyond your budget in order to have valid taste. That would simply be irresponsible. However, here's a rhetorical question. Do you know your budget? I mean, think about it. It's so easy for us to say something is out of our budget, but a lot of the time we're basing that off of two primary things. Number one, how much money we actually know we're bringing in on a weekly or monthly basis, in conjunction with how much liquid cash we can see in our bank accounts and that we have access to. However, all too commonly, there's a third prong that we're missing, and that is being honest and scrupulous with how much money we're actually spending, how much money is going out of our accounts every month. Now, this is something I had to learn the hard way, so I am not exempt here. And also, this is not just about fragrances. The money we spend on eating out, alcohol, drugs, subscriptions, or really any unproductive habit that falls into the gray zone. The money we spend in this gray zone usually stays out of view until we intentionally look at it. So, coming back to fragrances, no matter how little we think we're spending on our collection of cheap clones, we're actually not saving money if we're not keeping track of our actual spending. You'd be amazed how many $30 purchases can add up in a month if you're not looking at them. There is only one way to save money, and that is by not spending it. And hopefully that also means you're putting it away somewhere where you don't need to touch it. Now, where you put that money is completely up to you. I should have said this at the beginning, but I'm not a financial advisor. So as you can see, I'm not giving you advice. I'm just asking questions. I'm proposing that you think critically about your habits, about your current setup. Why? Because it's so easy in today's world to be numbed to these things, to these very important life habits because of the daily grind of working, distractions, and instant gratification. Good news is, it's never too late to start. This video is not the place to start because, again, no advice coming from me, but now that you're thinking about it, there's plenty of resources you can go to on the internet. And once you start getting these things in order, I do believe it'll be a lot easier mentally to start to spend less often on what you want the most, rather than trying to spend as little as possible for as high quality as possible, more often than you're probably aware of. Now, it goes without saying that if all of what I said is not news to you, then congratulations, you're on top of it, and I salute you. All that being said, I'm going to share with you guys just 4 fragrances, 4 great summer fragrances, and all 4 of them are going to be found at Max Aroma. We talk about them every month, and the greatest thing about Max Aroma is I love their sample program. You can sample these 4 fragrances, as far as I understand, with these little faux leather decants, their travel sprays, get an idea of if you love it or not, and then you can go on a full bottle if it makes sense to you, or you can spend nothing. You can just watch the video ends, and it's like, okay, I'm not trying to tap into your emotions here, just trying to give you some information and hopefully make it captivating. Anyway, these 4 fragrances. The first one up is called Salt and Pepper. This is from Precious Liquid. I've talked about this one quite a bit. And if you're looking for an easy breezy daily wear with high quality, this is a great one to consider. Loosely connected to something like Dior Sauvage, but for me this is more of like a 3-dimensional Dior Sauvage. It's like Mario 64 versus Super NES Mario. You really get this full picture of it. It just feels more natural. There's this very realistic, like minerally salty, peppery, spicy vibe that's fresh and clean smelling, borderline blue smelling, if you will. It's a simple scent profile similar to something like Sauvage. I get good performance out of it, and it's so versatile. So this is one I would easily recommend. It's a little expensive for a full bottle, so that's why I would recommend sampling first. if you're interested. This one I've loved for some time. I'll be honest, I haven't worn it in a while, so I'm glad I brought it with me on this little trip I'm on to remind me I need to give some love to Josier Vetiver. Now, story behind this fragrance, I tried this at some perfume store in LA many years ago. It was blindly given to me by a sales associate. They said, what do you think of this? And I'm like, smells like Terre d'Hermes. Is it Terre d'Hermes? And they're like, no.
It smells like Terre d'Hermes.
And like, no, it's Josier Vetiver. They put it on my skin. And then I realized, okay, yes, it is similar to Terre d'Hermes, but it is different. There is this roundedness to it. There's this smooth quality. As per the name, Vetiver. Dry, woody vetiver. There's some citrus touches in here, a little bit of a sparkling like orange quality, but it's way smoother than Terre d'Hermes. It's way more just full and kind of complete smelling in a way. Not to say it's better or superior. I do love Terre d'Hermes, but what I'm trying to say is if you don't like Terre d'Hermes, you might like this one instead. Some people might call it the niche version of Terre d'Hermes. I think that's kind of a crude way to put it, but if that helps you frame it in your mind from your side of the screen, then I think it's just fine. Anyway, let me know if you've tried this one already. That is Josier Vetiver. From Nishane, no stranger here, this is Wulong Cha. This one is very popular. A lot of people really dig this one, and for good reason. It smells green, yellow, gray, and white to me. That's the vibe I get. There's this calming, soothing tea with citruses that are not too zingy. They are bright. They have lift to them, but they're not sharp. There's a smoothness here. There's this almost like white, musky, cottony feeling that's fresh still, that just kind of encapsulates the scent. It gives it this really smooth delivery when you smell it, when it reaches the nostrils. It is just a calming profile, but at the same time, perfectly versatile, something that just smells very pleasant in the air. It'll smell pleasant to you and to those around you, and it's going to be completely inoffensive, but also not generic. It's its own thing. It really has something definitive and special about its personality. Let me know if you already enjoy Wulong Cha from Nishane, and if you haven't tried it, then yeah, maybe get a sample. And I always love to talk about a fragrance for the evening in the summertime. It's easy to overlook that. We're always thinking about daytime freshies, but what about for the evening? What do you want to wear when you want something more elegant when you're going out? The sun's going to be down, there's going to be a breeze. You want something that, yes, has a bit of a freshness to it, but maybe a little bit more depth, richness, and interest. I would check out Roja Parfums Midsummer Dream. This is one of the best fragrances that they've ever put out. And I say that because it is utterly unique. It smells like nothing else I've ever tried. It doesn't remind me of anything else I have or have tried. It is its own thing. It has this sheep vibe. It is kind of based on a classic DNA, based on maybe a little bit of citrus, some florals, some moss, this like mossy, dry, woody bed, but there is some resins in here. There's an elemi resin in here that adds this slightly sweet, damp, balsamic feel, almost like a tree sap feel that's still a little bit fresh, and it just adds this beautiful dimension to the scent with some rose. It's kind of soft, maybe a touch of a powdery quality in there, but still pretty masculine, I might add. There's, again, a woodiness here that grounds it, and this is one of those scents that when you catch a whiff in the air, especially when you're outside, oh my gosh, it is just so luxurious smelling, and it's so unique, but it's so easy to understand. Not one you want to overspray because it's a little off the beaten path. When you veer into weird territory and you overspray, bad combination, it's not going to smell good. So you've been warned. A little goes a long way with this one. I go no more than 2 or 4 sprays, and I feel like I'm smelling good, especially if I'm going to be outside. Yeah, I can get away with a little bit more. If I'm going to be mostly indoors, maybe 2, no more than 3. But obviously, your spray count will be up to you. But I want to know what you think of a Midsummer Dream from Roja Parfums, as well as all the fragrances I've talked about, as well as this entire idea that, again, may have pushed some buttons, may have ruffled some feathers, but such is life. Let me know down in the comments. And once again, you can check everything out at Max Aroma. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.